Hello, I'm Pamela Northam, First Lady of Virginia. I'm so glad you could join me to read today The Wish Tree by Catherine Applegate. I know it hasn't been easy for many of us who are staying home, like I'm staying home today, but we appreciate what you're doing and are so grateful to you and to your many teachers and all the folks at Richmond Public Schools for providing this opportunity. I'm happy to be here under my tree at home. This is one of my favorites, the magnolia tree. So please join me in reading chapter 50. That night, many hours after the crowd had scattered, Samar slipped out the front door of the little blue house. Stephen, who'd been watching from his bedroom window, joined her moments later. They sat silent beneath my wish-laden boughs. The slightest breath of wind sent the index card fluttering like huge moths. Moonlight was everywhere, it seemed, on the wishes, on my branches, on the downy-headed owlets and the upturned gazes of Stephen and Samar. How beautiful we all were, bathed by the soft and silver light. "Do you think your family will stay here?" Stephen asked, "after everything that's happened?" "I don't know," said Samar. "I hope so." The breeze kicked up, cards chattered, ribbons danced. A scrap of notebook paper loosely tied with red yarn to my lowest branch broke free. Samar snatched it as it swooped past. She squinted at the scribbled writing. Then she stood, carefully tying the paper back onto my branch. "What was the wish for?" Stephen asked. "An invisible robot that does homework." "Seems unlikely." "True." Samar leaned against my trunk and smiled. "But then so does a talking tree." Chapter 51. If this were a fairy tale, I'd tell you there was something magical about that wishing day, that the world changed and we all lived happily ever after. But this is real life, and real life, like a good garden, is messy. Some things have changed, and some things haven't. Still, I'm an optimist. I'm feeling hopeful about the future. Samar's parents decided not to move, at least not for a while. Stephen and Samar became good friends, and sometimes they do their homework at the base of my trunk. Their parents still don't talk to one another. I'm not sure if they ever will. The police never found the boy who carved "leave" into my trunk. But a couple of weeks ago, I saw him sauntering by, and I pointed him out to Bongo. Let's just say she made a very large deposit that day. All my residents are back where they belong, safe in their hollows. They still argue sometimes, but they haven't eaten one another yet. Francesca applied to the city to make me a heritage tree. That means I'm protected forever. She's also on a first-name basis with a local plumber who's learning to deal with my pushy roots. Lewis and Clark still haven't figured out how to walk on leashes. Bongo's made a new friend. His name is Harley Davidson, and I suspect we may have some crow newbies in our future. As for me, I promised Bongo I will never be a Badinsky again. I told her that my meddling days are over. And yet, here we are, you and I. What can I say? I'm more talkative than most trees. Still, if you find yourself standing near a particularly friendly-looking tree on a particularly lucky-feeling day, it can't hurt to listen up. Trees can't tell jokes, but we can certainly tell stories. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful ending to a terrific story, The Wish Tree. I know this old tree, the magnolia behind me, can tell many stories as well. And for me, books have been a safe place to go during difficult times, to meet interesting people and to travel to exciting new places. I can't wait to see where your next story will take you. Until then, I look forward to seeing you again real soon.